Hi guys, welcome back to Chinnu Agilan Tracks. ఇవాళ మనం ఈ వీడియోలో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ నేర్చుకుందామండి. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ గ్యాప్ అప్ అండ్ గ్యాప్ డౌన్ ఇన్ బ్యాంక్ నిఫ్టీ. జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ బ్యాంక్ నిఫ్టీ as an example. This gap up and gap down can happen in Nifty also or in stocks also. Okay, but same way we have to think. Coming to the slide wise, I will explain. Try to understand very well. Okay, let's go ahead. See here, what is first of all gap up and gap down in Bank Nifty? See, gap up means when the opening price is higher than the previous day's close, and that indicates strong buying sentiment or optimism. ఓకే, అంటే ప్రీవియస్ డేస్ క్లోజ్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉంటుందో దానికంటే టుడేస్ ఓపెన్ ప్రైస్ అనేది హైగా ఉంటే వీ కన్సిడర్ దట్ ఈస్ గ్యాప్ అప్. అండ్ ఇది దేని ఇండికేట్ చేస్తుందంటే బయింగ్ సెంటిమెంట్ని ఇండికేట్ చేస్తుందండి. అలానే వాట్ యు మీన్ బై గ్యాప్ డౌన్? When the opening price is lower than the previous day's close. Also, it indicates selling pressure or negative sentiment. That means previous day close ekkadaithe untundo price today opening price అనేది దానికంటే లోలో ఉంటే, లోవర్ గా ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం గ్యాప్ డౌన్ కింద కన్సిడర్ చేయాలి. అండ్ ఇది మనకి ఏం ఇండికేషన్ ఇస్తుందంటే సెల్లింగ్ ప్రెషర్ ఉంది ఆ ప్రతి స్టాక్లో అయినా బ్యాంక్ నిఫ్టీలో అయినా నిఫ్టీలో కానీ సెల్లింగ్ ప్రెషర్ ఆర్ నెగిటివ్ సెంటిమెంట్ ఉంది అని కన్సిడర్ చేయాలి మనం. అంటే ఇనీషియల్ థాట్. కమింగ్ టు ద నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్. సి ఎ సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ గ్యాప్ అప్. Assume Bank Nifty closes yesterday 54,000, but today opens directly at 54,500. This is nothing but a gap up of 500 points. A simple example. Same thing in stock also. Like for example, take it Tata Motors. Yesterday it's closed 1,000 rupees or 1,000 points. Today it is open 1,005. That means 5 points of gap up is there. That's what the simple example for gap up. And coming to the next example. See, gap up level lone manaki different criteria untayi. What is the criteria? Small gap up, moderate gap up, moderate gap up. See here, small gap up, moderate gap up, strong gap up, and very strong gap up. Especially I am telling about here Bank Nifty. If gap up is between 0 to 50 points, I'll consider that is minor or it's a regular occurrence, because the price range around it is there 50,000 plus, right? That's why the 50 points up is very common. And a moderate gap up, 50 points to 150 points, 50 to 150 points is a positive sentiment. That means the initial thought it's possible to go higher side. 50 to 150 points, nothing but moderate gap up. And a strong gap up, that's mostly inside 150 points to 300 points in between. Nothing but strong buying momentum you can expect At morning level itself, you can expect a strong buying momentum and very strong gap up. See, when we have some 300 plus points, the difference between yesterday's close and today's open, 300 plus points, a strong gap, very strong gap up, because of maybe driven by major events or news, etc., etc. Okay, these are different kind of like consideration we are going to check in the gap up level. Small gap up as well as moderate gap up, and this is strong gap up and very strong gap. Okay, these are the four things we have to check before going to open the market. Coming to the next slide, see here the gap down consideration. Same way, gap down, small gap down, moderate gap down, strong gap down, and very strong gap down. See here, 0 to 50 points, I will consider a minor or a regular occurrence is going to be happen. It is possible, it's very common, because our Banknifty is there around 50,000 plus. Okay, and a moderate gap down, 50 to 150 points difference by comparing previous day's close. This is nothing but a mild bearish sentiment. A mild bearish sentiment. Okay, same way, strong gap down, 150 point to 300 points. 150 to 300 points difference between yesterday's close to today's open at lower side. A strong selling pressure. A strong selling pressure is possible. Now, very strong gap down. It's mostly 300 plus points difference between yesterday's close and today's open at downside. Same thing, it's going to be driven by some major negative news in the market level. Mostly it's going to be happen. Okay, these are the things we need to consider. We need to consider, like I'm going to consider the small gap up or small gap down, or moderate gap up or moderate gap down, a strong gap down or strong gap up, a very strong level. Where we are there today at morning 9:15, before itself we came to know what kind of picture is going to be happening. Okay, and coming to the next slide, see here a simple example for gap down also. Suppose Banknifty closes some 54,000 yesterday. Today it's open around some 3,500. That means there is potentially some 500 points difference is there at downside, right? This is nothing but a gap down example, and into that it's very strong gap down, right? And coming to the next slide, yeah, gap up or gap down are in the same level. It's going to happen in the market. But what kind of factors that's going to be influence that gap movements, either downside or upside? What kind of factors? Mostly these are the factors I'll consider for gap down or gap up. What is that? Global market trends. Nothing but nothing but overnight market movements influence the opening. Our market is going to close at 3:30, right? After that, at worldwide, lot of markets is going to run. Okay. Now we are Indian market. In the same way, we have US market is there, UK market is there, Singapore is there, Japan is there, China is there. Lot of markets are going to run according to their time zones, right? Those market movements possible to cause that particular gap influence, that means fact become as a factor. And macroeconomic announcements, nothing but some policy changes and interest rates and inflation data. That means especially that government decisions, some decisions going to help to the companies, that means favorable to the companies. Some of the decisions are not favorable to the companies. Based on those sentiments, it is possible. For example, Fed meetings, right? Nothing but macroeconomic announcements. And sector specific news also one of the cause or become as one of the factor that influencing the gap movement. That means news affecting the banking sector directly impacts the bank nifty. Some major announcement is happen in banking sector, it may influence the bank nifty. Okay, these are the main factors what I will consider possible to gap up or gap down before going to start the market. Now coming to the next slide, see yeah, however market going to open gap up or gap down or in the same range. However, as a trader, we have to trade, we have to do our business. That's why when market is in gap up, I'm going to follow a strategy. I'm going to look especially for the volume when it is in the gap up, and price confirmations. Price confirmation. Yesterday market is closed at here, today opened at here. Then I will see where is the support between these two. Is it after opening the gap up, is it taking the support from here, given the like breakout or not? I will take that kind of plan and I'm going to make it that particular trade after pullbacks or breakout confirmation. It's one of the according to me one of the good strategy, but depends upon the situations. And when market is in gap down, there also will follow another strategy, gap down strategy level. That is, I'm going to wait for the market reaction before entering here, or we have to short if bearish trend continues after the open. See, yesterday's market is closed at here and opens at here. There is a gap down in this place, right? Here I will check this bearishness is continuing or is going to take a pullback. I will find out a recent resistance where it is there exactly. From there, if it is taking that bearishness continuity, then I will follow the trade, or else I will wait to cross that yesterday's barrier. I'm not going to enter any kind of trade in this particular zone. because we need a good confirmation, an exact confirmation when market is at gap up or gap down. In these situations, we have to follow very carefully. And coming to the next slide, see here a best example for a gap up and gap down. See here, this is a day trade chart, day level, the recent chart only. Market closed at here, previous day. That next day opens at here. If you observe carefully, what is the pullback? See here, there is a support. If you found a support at here, then obviously you will get an idea where we have to enter the market. You got it, right? And in the same way, this is another example for gap down. See, the previous day market is closed at here, and opened at here. I will check, or we have to check where is the support. Is the support area where it is opening, or somewhere here in the support area, If the support area below the opening, then we have to wait for that particular support level, or support area itself as a opening level, then we have to wait for the breakout. Find out the nearest possible resistance area. If resistance is crossed, then we have to trade. This is the logic what we have to follow at gap down or gap up in Bank Nifty. Not only in this Bank Nifty, we have to consider Nifty as well as stocks also, where it is going to be happening the gap up or gap down mechanisms. Okay. And from here, the key things what we have to take it here is gap up signals are optimism sign. Gap down signals indicates the bearishness. Okay. But we have to follow market volume and global news to analyze that particular gap movements, especially when it's going to be happen strong gap up or strong bearish. In that particular day, especially, we have to follow these things. Why that particular gap down or gap up is happened? Is it going to continue or not? That bullish momentum or bearish momentum is going to continue or not? We have to check these things, then we have to take a decision. Okay, when a strong gap, like it's a downside or an upside, or gap up, lead to significant market movements, and that particular down or upside will become as the future trend. It can indicate the future trend also. Okay, and this is what very simple concept what we analyzed right now. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll meet in next video with a new concept. Thank you.